Song Jian sighed again. I went to the back of the boat, turned the steering wheel, and steered the speedboat towards the small island where we had left Songfu. Soon, the island appeared. Under the moonlight, it looked like a giant sea turtle floating on the water. The boat quickly reached the shore, and Song Jian jumped off first. Red said, "I have been stuck on this boat for days. I am going ashore for a walk." As she spoke, she started walking into the water towards the beach. I grabbed her by the waist, made a sharp shout, and with a burst of strength threw her towards the shore. Red cried out in the air, surprised. I called out, "Big brother, catch her." Song Jian was ready. As Red came down, he caught her with one hand and put her gently on the ground. Her face was pale with fear, but she lifted her chin, showing she would not give up. I was not scared at all. I jumped ashore. "Who said you were?" Red turned around and ran off, shouting, "Professor! Professor!" On a dark, empty island, I worried she would get lost, so I hurried after her. Song Jian followed behind. We ran about 30 yards from the shore, but there was no sign of Songfu. I was starting to wonder when, suddenly, the speedboat's engine made a loud sound at the water's edge. My heart sank. I turned around to see the boat going fast away like an arrow, a person at the back Songfu. No doubt he had seen us coming, hid by the shore, and waited until we were all on the island. Then he had quietly gotten on board and left, leaving us stranded. In that moment, the three of us stood still. The boat moved so fast that, very quickly, it was just a white line on the dark blue sea. Another moment, and the line was gone, the engine sound fading into silence. The island became quiet again. After a long pause, Song Jian sighed. I knew he must feel guilty. "Big brother," I said, "we will not die on this island. If Bai Kiwei could get to Texel Island, we have nothing to worry about." Song Jian said nothing, just turned and walked off. Red whispered, "What is he doing?" I whispered back, "He is upset about his brother's betrayal. Let's not bother him. First, let's check the island for a place to hide." Red nodded. "We cannot really blame Songfu. What you do comes back to you." I laughed softly. "Red, you are getting tougher than me, saying things like that." She laughed too, and we headed towards the center of the island. The island was barely an acre, but it was rough with jagged rocks, making it feel wild and mountainous. Near a stone cave, we found a smoldering campfire. Songfu's, no doubt. Red and I sat by the fire. She stirred it, adding to logs. "Cousin," she said, "you must be very happy knowing Bai Su is coming, right?" I thought for a moment. "Yes." Red smiled widely. "That Bai Kiwei even tried to flirt with me, but even Americans would not fall for a bad person like him." My curiosity grew. "So, what kind of man do you like?" Red stared into the flames, then sighed. Red sighing was very rare. It could have been big news. I did not interrupt her thoughts. After about 5 minutes, she said, "If my hopes do not fail, I think we will be off this island before morning." I stared, surprised. "Before morning? What? Are we swimming a long distance?" Red gave a mysterious smile. No, I did not ask her more. Knowing Red's nature, she would tell me herself in less than 10 minutes. Sure enough, less than 2 minutes later, she said, "Cousin, do you think Professor Sakata will come back?" I was confused. "He left us here. Why would he?" She smiled widely. "He will." I did not argue further and stood up. Just then, Song Jian shouted, "Come look at this." Red and I turned to see him behind a large rock, waving us over. I called, "What's up?" He raised his hand, and in the sunlight, something shone like fire. I knew my gems. My grandfather was a famous expert in the jewelry business in Jiangnan. Even after stopping work, people came to him with precious stones for him to check, and he had passed that knowledge to me. The moment I saw the fiery red glow in Song Jian's hand, my heart skipped. That brightness, that color, it could only be a very good ruby. I rushed to him, half running, half jumping. He put the gem in my hand. I opened my hand. It was a ruby the size of a walnut. Red arrived, saw it, and made such a wild scream that Song Jian and I thought she had gone crazy. I closed my fingers, then opened them again. Red said, "Cousin, let me hold it." Gems have a pull that is not just about their value. This ruby, though worth a lot of money, captivated us, me, Song Jian, and Red, who were not new to the world. I placed it in Red's pale hand. The three of us stared at the bright yet fine ruby, not blinking for a long time. Finally, I said, "Big brother, where did you find it?" Song Jian pointed to the ground. "In this grass." I was looking for a spot to rest, kicked a rock, and there it was. Red spoke up. "I am called Red, and it is a ruby, so it is mine." I laughed softly. "Red, you are all about Western ways. Why did you not claim it when we had not found it? If your name was Ruby, maybe then." She said back, "I don't care. I will pay whatever it is worth." Song Jian interrupted. "Stop arguing." I raised my hand. "No way. Give it back." Red refused, holding the ruby tightly and moving back. As she did, her heel hit a rock, and she cried out in pain. Her cry stopped as all three of us gasped. The rock she had kicked had turned over, showing a sapphire beneath it. The sapphire's color was deeper than an autumn night. Red bent down, picked it up, and Song Jian said, "There might be more." He moved forward, turning over rocks. Sure enough, under the fourth, he found a diamond. He kept searching, but a thought hit me. I shouted, "Big brother, stop." He turned. "Why?" "Song Fu was here for 5 days," I said. "How did he not find these?" Song Jian shrugged. "They were under rocks. He might have missed them. We got lucky." "Big brother," I said, "we had better be careful." Red made a sound. "Careful about what?" "I don't see any danger." Song Jian agreed. Yes, he kept searching, moving 6 or 7 steps, and found another gem. Red jumped along, joining him. I felt uneasy. Something was wrong about how easily we were finding these jewels, but I could not pinpoint what. Watching them move farther, Red's excited shouts showed they kept finding more. They reached about 30 yards away, near another large rock. Red said, "Mr. Song, let's push this rock over." Song Jian replied, "All right." Their hands were on the rock when a cold feeling went through me. I realized what was wrong and yelled, "Stop! Move back!" Red turned annoyed. "Cousin, what is your problem?" I rushed towards them, shouting, "Move back now. I will explain. Move, move." Song Jian waited, then moved back a few steps. Red, unwilling, followed. I said, "Did you notice? The path you took, where you found the gems, forms a straight line." Red looked up. "So what?" I shook my head. "Red, you boast about your detective skills, but you don't understand? Those gems were placed to trick you to that big rock." She shrugged. "What's the harm?" Song Jian, experienced from years in the criminal world, took my words seriously. He nodded to Red. "Miss Wang, let's move back more." The three of us stood about 10 yards from the rock. Song Jian and I looked at each other, each picking up a stone weighing about 10 pounds. I told Red to step back farther. Together, we threw the stones at the rock, which was half a man high. With a sharp crack, the stones hit, making the rock shake. Very quickly, a burst of fire happened, followed by thick smoke. A very loud bang shook the ground, sending rocks flying like the end of the world. I faintly heard Red scream, but in that confusion, Song Jian and I could not help her. I had expected something like this, but the explosion happened so fast it surprised us. Anyone would stop for a moment in such a shock. If anything went wrong, it would happen in that split second, too fast to save anyone. The ground stopped shaking almost instantly. As we quickly became normal again, we saw Red waving her arms, shouting, her strong feelings making her act wildly. I rushed over and without waiting, slapped her face. She became calm, looking at me for a long time before falling onto my shoulder, crying, "Cousin, you saved my life! You saved my life!" I nodded. "Yes." Song Jian joined us, and we all looked at the rock Red and Song Jian had almost pushed. The smoke had cleared, showing the rock was broken, blackened by soot, and a hole 3 feet deep in the ground. We stood in shocked silence. I said, "That was a homemade landmine." Red asked, "The hook gang's work?" I shook my head. "Miss, you lack experience. A homemade landmine becomes weak in 2 days if not used because of wet ground." Her eyes opened wide. "You are saying the professor?" Before she finished, I interrupted, "Yes, your respected biology expert's masterpiece. A landmine this sensitive is a big achievement." He is also a gorilla expert, it seems. Song Jian's face turned red, then pale, clearly shaken. That beast, that beast." He spoke softly. I started to comfort him, but Red, hands on hips, came forward aggressively. "Cousin, how much gunpowder would that explosion need?" It was not high explosives or nitroglycerin. If it was, even with our care and distance, the shockwave would have killed us. The thick smoke showed homemade gunpowder, probably taken from bullets or shells. I thought for a moment. About a pound, Red asked strongly. Then it cannot be the professor. When we left him here, did he have gunpowder on him? Her question confused me. No matter how clever Song Fu was, he could not have known he would be left here and carried a pound of gunpowder. I waited. Red stepped closer. Cousin, what do you say now? I admitted. Red, I cannot explain it yet, but I am sure this was Song Fu's doing. He knew we would come for him, saw a chance to trap us, and tried to blow us up. Red stood tall. No, you are completely wrong, I said sharply, annoyed. Why are you so sure? She took a few quick breaths. Because he loves me. He would not hurt me.